A customer complaint is a gift. Take the perspective that your customers complain because they want to help your business. Otherwise, they would say nothing and walk away, intent on never returning. Bill Quiseng. You have the power to be the boss of your own life. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, best-selling author, lifelong learner, and your biz bestie. I have a love and passion for all things small business. Growing my own company from $700 to over 7 figures annually, my goal is to bring you inspiration, business-focused topics and tips, encouragement, and a community that helps you launch, grow, and scale your business, whether you are a dreamer, a side hustler, or a seasoned entrepreneur. You are listening to the Become Your Own Boss podcast. Last week, I touched on something that used to drive me absolutely crazy: customer feedback. And not the glowing 5-star reviews. No, I'm talking about those complaints that sting a little or a lot. There was a time when a less than perfect review could ruin my whole day. I'd take it personally, like someone had just insulted my child. I mean, my business is my baby. It was my first baby, or our first baby. But my perspective completely shifted after one simple moment: an interview. This was several years ago. I was interviewing a candidate for a position in our company. And as I often do, I asked her what was the last book or the most impactful book that she had read recently. And she replied, "Hug Your Haters." And that title alone was intriguing to me. She explained the concept a bit further, and I immediately knew I wanted and needed to read this book. Actually, we made it a book to read for our entire team. So today we're talking and breaking down Hug Your Haters by Jay Baer in this Boss Up Books episode. The book was published in 2016. So yes, it talks about platforms like Twitter, now X, and a few tools that might feel a bit outdated. But the heart of it, the message, is still solid and still needed, especially in today's business world where customer service can make or break your brand. Jay Baer calls complainers haters. Now, that word might feel strong, maybe even a little dramatic, but that's what makes it memorable. And let's be honest, that is how it feels sometimes when someone complains about your business. But here's the mindset shift the book gave me. It helped me see complaints in a whole new light. And I want to walk you through 3 key takeaways that completely transformed how I show up for my customers. Number 1, complaints are an opportunity to improve. Instead of getting defensive, Hug Your Haters taught me to lean in. Every complaint is a data point. It's insight. It's a chance to tighten up systems, smooth out processes, and make your business even better. For example, we have had people complain about our production speed. So due to the somewhat unpredictable machine issues and seasonal volume, we've had to get extremely clear about our production times and extremely clear about them being an estimate and the availability of rush options if you know you need your items by a specific date. This information is on our website, it's on our proofs, and it's in the customer's order notes. I have had a few customers that have tried to say that a team member promised them a date, but our only promise or guarantee is on rush designated items. That is a promise. We're still working on production speed in our business because that can still be frustrating to customers, and we get it. But we do work hard to over-communicate and set accurate expectations. Additionally, some complaints can help you reduce the hassle map. These are the pain points or friction points in our customer's experience or our customer journey. Things we may not even realize are frustrating until someone points them out. For example, I had a customer just yesterday say our website gives her anxiety. "We have too many options," is what she said. Now, I'm truly thinking, is there a way we can simplify our site? I realized that this is just one person, but she took the time to call and say this. What other customer out there may feel the same way, but just move on? It's something to think about. An improvement may be what is needed in the future. And so we can give that some thought and some intentionality as we talk through that here in the company. Number 2, every complaint is a marketing opportunity. Now, before this book, I never saw it this way. But when a complaint is online in a public-facing arena, This is a great opportunity to show onlookers or spectators what fabulous customer service you have. You're not just responding to that one unhappy customer, you're showing everyone else who's watching how you handle problems. And guess what? If you respond with empathy, professionalism, and grace, you win. It becomes free marketing, a chance to build trust and show the heart behind your brand. It also gives you a chance to perhaps explain how your process works. I can recall once we had a customer leave a 1-star review. And of course, no one wants a 1-star review. She left a 1-star review and a very long commentary. However, we were able to go in and explain about our proofing process, how she did not follow the guidelines and approve. She also did not approve in time to receive it as needed, though this was communicated. I can recall a customer telling me about that 1-star review and expressing that the person seemed a bit dramatic and honestly crazy. And I put crazy in air quotes. Now, we were not trying to make her seem crazy, but we simply wanted to point out that we did everything we promised. But we cannot move forward if the customer doesn't hold up their end. Now, when you respond to a review or a social media comment, even if it's negative, you're not just thinking about that one person. You're thinking about the 10 or 100 or 1,000 people who might read it afterwards. How can you turn it to be a positive for how you handle a customer issue or that specific customer's issue? Again, it gives you a chance to show the customer and others your professionalism and how much you care about them. Number 3, customer service is the best competitive advantage. Here's the truth. Products can be copied, prices can be matched, but the way you treat people, that's where you can stand out. That's where loyalty lives. Jay drives home that customer service is marketing, as I mentioned before, and it doesn't just belong to your front desk team or your customer service rep. It belongs to everyone in the company. I can tell you when we have people in production a few years ago, this was, probably 10 years ago, we had everybody start wearing uniforms. It was so random that we are a decorated apparel company, but we would let people wear whatever they wanted. And when I say uniforms, I mean we just wear branded t-shirts or branded polos or branded jackets. When we started doing this, of course, it's easy to tell a person who works in the building versus someone who's shopping. And so all of our team members treat customers amazing. When they walk by a customer, of course, they speak. Even though they're in the production department, they're making things. They're not customer facing. But if they walk by a customer in our building, they're going to speak. They're going to be nice. They're going to be courteous. Customer service or a customer experience belongs to everyone in your business. At Zeus's Closet, as I mentioned, we've made this part of our culture. We don't just want to serve our customers. We want them to feel seen, heard, and valued, as I mentioned last week. That's how you build a brand that lasts and keeps your customers coming back. Think about when you go shopping. Are you going to continue to go back to a place where they make you feel like you're a nuisance or they're doing you a favor to even be there? Or are you going to keep shopping at a place where the personnel speaks when you walk in, ask you if you need help, seem to actually care? Last week, I went to a restaurant. It's a national chain. The kids and I went. We like this place. It feels healthy and it's good. And it's affordable for a family of 4, or there was 3 of us that day because Ethan was traveling. I walked in and the young lady behind the counter just looked at me. She didn't say a word. I'm a friendly person, so I spoke and asked her how she was doing. But why would you just look at a patron and not say a word? Okay, I know this is a training issue. She needs to be trained to make sure she speaks to people when they walk in. But on top of that, they left out Imana's sandwich. And I actually made it all the way home, even though I checked my bag. For some reason, I didn't realize that her sandwich was missing. Got home, looked in the bag. It wasn't there. So I drove back to the restaurant and it was near closing. So I called. The manager definitely tried to make it right. He was not happy that they left out her half a sandwich alongside her cup of soup, but he tried to make it right. He gave her a whole sandwich instead of a half and threw in a couple of cookies that I asked for. I figured I needed a little sweet treat since I had to drive all the way back. But truthfully, this is one of the reasons I love supporting smaller family-owned businesses. They are vested. They know that every customer matters. Every dollar that they ring up helps provide for their family, and they often rely on referrals. I just passed on our favorite family owned pizza place to my piano tuner that was at our house this weekend. He lives in the same community as this pizza place and he'd never tried it. He never even heard of it. Atlanta's pretty big though. Even if you live in one of the little communities, it still can be pretty big. But I felt so good passing on that information. And you know what? This place, when you walk in, all the people greet you, they're there to help you, and they're very friendly. And that's not necessarily the owner or even a family member of the owner. It's just someone working in the business and they've been trained to treat customers a very specific way. Okay, I know I've got on a bit of a tangent. Let me wrap it up this way. If you're someone who cringes when a complaint comes in, I feel you. I was you. But this book gave me the mindset shift that I didn't even know I needed. Hug Your Haters reminded me that even our harshest critics can be our greatest teachers if we're willing to listen and respond with grace. And I think Bill Gates said it best. Our most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. I have mentioned before how one of our customers was so unhappy with this jacket that he called and screamed at me on the phone. I mean, really yelled at me back to back to back. This was in the early days, and this was one of my first times dealing with a very unhappy customer. When we started, our proofing process was very simple. It included the custom elements on their jacket and a jacket template in the color they ordered, along with the size in very large text. That was it. His proof displayed a white jacket, which is what he approved. However, that was not the color he ordered. The customer did not realize that the proof should have actually reflected the color he ordered. He thought it was just an outline or a template. Needless to say, we immediately changed our proof to read jacket color in a bright orange highlighted box. We also highlighted the size and colors to be used on the jacket. This was an improvement to our proofing system. This was an opportunity for us to learn and get better. Just in case you want to know how this story ended, I don't recall all the details, but what I do remember is that he ended up getting so many compliments on his jacket, his white jacket, that he called back to let us know that, and he placed several additional orders after that time. We must have done something right. And let me just say this, business is personal, but growth requires us to be a little less defensive and a little more curious. The next time someone criticizes your process, your service, or even your product, pause, take a deep breath, and consider giving that hater a little hug, metaphorically, of course. If you haven't read Hug Your Haters, add it to your list. There are so many great examples and takeaways inside the book that can help guide you when you do experience that not so happy customer. If it has not happened yet, I promise you it will. And even after 20 plus years in business, I still get these situations that I have to figure out the best way to handle it. I'm glad that I have Ethan and other team members that we can discuss and bounce ideas off of. Of course, I've learned that actually apologizing, like simply saying those words, can go a long way because truthfully, we're all human. We're all going to drop the ball from time to time. We all have bad days, but owning up to it and again, making the customer feel seen and heard is the most important at the end of the day. One of the things that I've learned from Ethan as I've worked with him for 20 plus years is whenever he's encountered a customer, especially forward facing or frontal facing, you're in the store and someone's unhappy or they send an email about something, is he asks questions because he desires to get to know exactly what it is they would like to make them happy. Now, sometimes it may be a somewhat unreasonable request, and sometimes it may not be, but the goal is to, again, make sure the customer feels seen and heard. The book also not only discusses the negative complaints, but it also gets into the importance of responding to positive feedback. We don't want to take those customers for granted. They took the time to tell us what a great job we did and how pleased they are with our service or product. So we should thank them and respond to them as well. That's it. Thank you for listening today. I am grateful for you. If this episode was helpful, send it to a fellow business owner and leave a review, preferably a 5-star one. How can you use feedback to build a stronger business? Remember, there are opportunities in that review. And remember, now is the time. Now is the time to level up, leave a legacy, and become your own boss.